It's Powerback time on the Gutsy Podcast, your 20-minute boost to reclaim and refocus your energy. Get ready to have bursts of clarity, a boost of confidence, and the practical steps you need to make gutsy moves forward. You've got big things to do, so let's get your power back. Well, ladies, here we are. Again. I don't know if you are part of the collective group of now counting over 1 million women that woke up between 2 and 4 a.m. on Wednesday morning after the election, and or if you are just ignited in a way that is indescribable. Maybe you're thinking, you know what, I know something needs to be done and I don't even know where to start. This feels so much bigger than me. Today, I hope to shed a little light, give you some guidance, open up your brain to possibilities and what you can do. Because while we're here again, and how incredibly enraging that is to say, nothing changes if nothing changes. So today, we're going to go over 10 ways that you as an individual can do your part to help beat the patriarchy. And I'll ask this of you before we even get into anything. Forward this episode to 3 women in your life. One of the top ways that we change this shit is by educating and advocating. And I'm going to take it a step further to not just send it to the fellow women in your world that voted for women's rights. I challenge you to forward this to the women in your life that didn't. Use this as a conversation starter. Approach it from the perspective that I'm not here to convince, I'm here to educate. It's gutsy moves like getting out of your comfort zone and hosting those tough conversations. That's where lasting change is born. Now, before I get into these 10 tips, we need to have a little bit of a tough conversation. We need to talk about how if we are going to change the patriarchal system, that we need to stop feeding the patriarchal system. I know, you're like, what, Laura? No, we're doing everything against that. No, I hear you. In your heart and your soul, yes. But it's in our everyday actions that many of us contradict this. Now, listen, there has been systemic oppression and racism and less opportunities and discrimination and all this other kind of shit that has stopped people, women specifically, and even more so women of color and marginalized communities from being able to have the access to the opportunities that they deserve, the human rights that they deserve. So I'm not ignoring that there's a bigger factor in here. What we have to stop ignoring, though, are the micro decisions that we make on a daily basis that support the mission to suppress women, all women. Overthinking, settling for things, staying quiet, putting yourself last, all of these micro things that we do is feeding the system. It's keeping us in place. It's keeping us tired, overworked, burned out, questioning yourself, comparing yourself to others. You are a fucking superhero in your everyday life, making sure that everything and everyone is taken care of. The carpooling and the sports are done. The dinners are planned. The meetings are ran. The projects are done. People are cared for, right? There's no question that you have the capability of doing amazing things. Yet when it comes time for you, you hide the cape in the closet, shine down, backing away, not taking up space, being quiet. My lady, this is where we have work to do. Because every time you put yourself last, burn yourself out, take on way too many damn things, you are unintentionally feeding the system. Look, beating the patriarchy is a big subject. It's something that our mothers and grandmothers and great-grandmothers and great-great-grandmothers and all the women prior to us have been talking about, fighting for, and standing up for. And they made a lot of fucking headway for us. But you know what we need to do? Change the narrative for this generation and our daughters and our nieces and our granddaughters and our great-great-granddaughters. Do you want your granddaughter to settle for something that she's not in love with? Do you want your daughter to question herself and her abilities? Do you want your niece and your great-niece and your great-great-niece to question their body and their capabilities? I know that you don't. But we have to set the example now. Harder, louder. And look, I know that you are tired. I'm fucking tired too. But now is not the time to give up. In fact, Kamala shared that this is time to roll up our sleeves. The women that came before us put in a shit ton of work. Women of color and marginalized communities have put in a shit ton of work, and yet the work isn't done. So today, I hope to empower you with ways that you can start to make changes in your own world. And as we collectively band together and do these things individually but together, change, positive change, lasting change is inevitable. If you haven't already, this is a good time to get your notebook out. And if you're driving, don't do that. Come back and listen to this episode and jot it down then. Number 1, stop second guessing your abilities. Start trusting in your ability to figure things out. Look how many things in your world that you didn't know prior to doing them. How many things that you have figured out along the way. Asked the right questions, ran into somebody, made a phone call, did your own research. Second guessing your abilities is stopping your progress. And guess what? We need your ideas. We need your implementation. And whether that affects just your immediate household, your community, something larger, that doesn't matter. The fact is that you have the ability, and it's time to trust in that. Whatever ripple effect it's intended to have, it will have, but only if you trust it and act on it. Number 2, this is for my entrepreneurs, my business ladies. Stop undercharging in your business. My speaker mentor, Jess Ekstrom, if you've not heard of her, please go find her. She's got a great podcast called Amplify. She shared a story with us where she spoke at an event where she charged $8,500 to speak. She felt really good about her rate. She felt really great about her presence. And one of the event planners called her and said, "Hey, can we talk?" And usually that means like, uh-oh, something didn't go so great. And so she started to second guess herself. Luckily enough, this event planner was not calling to tell her that something went wrong, but instead came to her as an advocate. She said, "Jess, I just want to let you know that while we paid you $8,500, the man that spoke after you charged us $50,000 and we paid it. Same amount of time, same stage. The woman took $8,500, the man took $50,000. We got to cut the crap about feeling bad about making money and money is the root of all evil and what if people won't pay it. Listen, I know that we have been fed that shit for a really long time, and breaking some of these habits, it takes work. But stories like this are happening every single day. When you're undercharging in your business, you are undermining your ability to have an impact. You are more than worthy. And you have exactly the right tools, resources, and education that you need to charge it today. Number 3, it's time to speak up. Being quiet, lowering your voice, not giving your ideas, this is giving your power away. So when you're in a meeting and you have an idea or you feel strongly about something or you want to add some input, raise your hand. Share your ideas. Speak up for yourself or someone else. Share your stories. Challenge things that are the same. Your voice is your power, my love. I know it's vulnerable to do that, to put yourself out there, but this is where the change happens. Number 4, leave that bum-ass job that is sucking the soul out of your ass. Changing jobs come with questions and how am I going to do this and what if that? And I realize that it's not just as quick and easy as quitting your job. But it's time to stop complaining about the job that's draining you. And it's time to put that energy and that effort into finding one that's a better fit for you. You deserve to work in a workplace that is fair, has equality, stands for something, adds value to your life instead of drains you. And I want to add in here, you're already qualified. There's a study by HP that found while men are likely to apply for a promotion when they meet only 60% of the qualifications, women tend to only apply when they meet 100% criteria. A KPMG research found that 73% of women hesitate to pursue jobs beyond their experience. 65% avoid asking for promotions, and 61% refrain from requesting raises. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about we are feeding the system. It's time to have the audacity, okay, to update your resume, to put in for jobs that you're like, wow, I don't know if I'm qualified. It doesn't matter. Apply. If this job is sucking your soul out, if it's ruining your life, if it's adding stress, if it's taking away from your family time, if it's ruining your body, it's time to go. And you have everything you need to be able to move forward. If you've been on the fence, take this as your sign. It's time to update your resume and move on. Number 5, let's stop putting your needs last, putting your health on the back burner, taking care of everything and everyone before you, not owning and communicating and advocating for your own personal needs, pretending like you don't matter. How on earth do you plan on doing the amazing things in your life when you don't have the energy, the time, or even the desire to do it anymore? This starts with self-prioritization, blocking in time for you, doing things that make you happy outside of work, outside of your spouse, outside of your kiddos. You can do those things too, but when is the last time that you just prioritized you? You have to be a non-negotiable for you. And if you don't hold that sacred, no one else can and will do that for you. Taking care of yourself isn't this, extravagant thing that you do for yourself every once in a while. No, it's daily practices. It's focusing on you. It's owning that, hey, I as an individual matter, and I'm going to start acting like that. Number 6, say no when you feel like you should say yes. This is letting go of the expectations of what everything and everyone expects you to do. Piling on more meetings when you know that you already have too many and you're already going to be exhausted. Thanks for the invite, but we're staying in this weekend. No, I can't help you with that today, but if you're free in a few weeks, I would be happy to help. I know it's really uncomfortable, especially if you've been a yes woman your whole life, but you have to start protecting your time and your peace. Number 7, educate and advocate. One thing that we do as women, and I can scream this from the rooftops, is we care. Damn, do we care, and sometimes we care too damn much. And there's a lot of different subjects and topics that you could fight on and for, that you could educate for, that you could advocate for, and I know you probably want to try and do them all. Well, we can't make an impact when we're burning ourselves out, now can we? So my suggestion is to pick 1 or 2 things that you are deeply passionate about. Learn more about it. Educate yourself on the facts. Join communities. Share information. You're going to make a bigger ripple with your focused efforts. If you can't tell, women's rights and equality are one of mine. Mental health awareness and advocacy is my second. I'd also love to save all the animals and help elderly that are being mistreated in care centers and help end poverty. And there's so many other things that I'm passionate about, but I'm only one person. And so if my one thing right now is women's rights, and I go all in on that, and your one thing is about fighting poverty and homelessness, and you go all in, then we collectively make a bigger ripple in multiple different areas. You don't have to do it all to make a big impact. Number 8, stop tearing down other women, judging other women, comparing yourself to other women. Look, we have enough external forces fighting at us. We don't need to be fighting within us. And so when you see another woman wearing something that you would never wear, instead of making that face, go, you know what? Do you, girl? That looks awesome on you. When you see a woman winning, getting a promotion, excelling in her business, don't talk shit about her. Applaud her because she's mirroring to you what's possible. When you see a woman that's a different color, size, or race than you, put away the assumptions. How in the hell are we supposed to win the war on women when we are fighting amongst ourselves? Number 9, it's time to start loving your body, my friend. My God, we have been fed this disgusting expectation of what a woman should look like for decades. And I don't know if you've ever noticed, but it's a moving goalpost. Be skinny. Oh, you look skinny. Are you eating? You don't look well. Body positivity. Oh, you're curvy. Oh, you're a little bit heavier. Oh, are you going to have diabetes? Are you sick? Cover up more. Take more off. Short hair's in. No long hair's in. Enough. Enough. The only way that we're going to fight back with this media bullshit too is to stop leaning into what they tell you to do. Start embracing yourself. Define your own version of health. Find how you feel you're most empowered in your clothing and in your body. And back to my point in number 8, if you see me walking around in assless chaps with neon purple tights underneath of it with no eyebrows, I want you to look at me and say, you know what? You do you, girl. Because the body shaming not only happens within, it happens externally. But I'm asking you, I'm begging you, I'm pleading you to stop looking in the mirror and tearing apart every aspect of your body. Too squishy, too thin, boobs are too big, I'm lopsided, my hair is too thin, my shoe size is too large. Like, fuck all of it. Who set the standard for what a woman should look like? Last time I checked, we're all pretty different. And how incredible is that? We are so alike, yet we are so unique. So I'm challenging you to change the narrative of how you talk about yourself. What you're saying to yourself when you're getting dressed in the morning, avoiding walking past mirrors, and when you do, you don't look at yourself. I'm challenging you to look straight into your own eyes and start to compliment yourself. And it's going to feel a little odd and a little awkward at first, but the more you do it, the more you believe it. The more you believe it, the more you act it. The more you act it, the more confidence you radiate. And guess where that goes? Out into the world. Last, but absolutely not least, because I could probably do 500 plus more of these, the last thing that I'm challenging you with is to take action. Stop overthinking and overcomplicating your every move. Start focusing on your one next step. And that could even be from this list. I'm not saying you have to take this whole list and go do it all today. I'm saying take something that's resonating with you. Start to implement it. Start to take action on your ideas. Register your business. Update your resume. Leave the relationship. Ask somebody out. Ask for a raise. Like, take one next thing and focus on that. Because the bigger shift, breaking the patriarchy, changing this for ourselves and all of the girls and women that come after us, starts with making small changes. I know that this might feel insignificant. And you're like, Laura, how are we going to change the patriarchy by talking nice to ourselves in the mirror? But riddle me this. It might feel insignificant in the moment. But what if the 4 billion, billion women on the planet did one of these things every single day? The change would be inevitable and the vibration shift would be felt in every corner of the earth. This system isn't going to change overnight, but I can promise you that when we all work together and we work as individuals, we can make a change. Your voice is needed now more than ever. Your energy expands greater than ever. And if you have nowhere else to turn and no one else in your immediate circle that gets you, you have a space right here. I know that these changes are scary and it's unknown and our system has rarely supported any of it. But they're not going to be the ones that change anything. We are. I know that this is a really fucked up time right now and it's confusing and there's about 800 different emotions involved. And always safely feel what you need to feel. And remember that our girl Kamala says, this is not the time to give up. It is the time to roll up our sleeves. One last piece of accountability. Send me a message. I'm on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. I'm at that Laura Aura. And share with me which one of these that you are dedicating yourself to focus on. When we do things together, it gets a whole lot easier. Stay safe, spread that love, and of course, until I see you next time, stay gutsy.